Hi, Bart, and welcome to another episode of the Bicycle Rider YouTube channel. And today we have a treat for you. It's probably the bike with the longest name we've ever put on this channel. Let me see if I can get it right. This is the Specialized Turbo Creo SL Comp Carbon EVO. And I guess it has such a long name because really this bike can do everything very well. And this is a bike that we have to thank our producer Gary for personally buying. He said there's nothing too good for the Bicycle Rider YouTube channel, so he bought this bike so we could do a long-term review on it. And also it is just a very versatile bike that he will be able to shoot video off of a little bit easier because it is E-assisted. And the E-assist on this bike is done very smart. When I say very smart, you actually have a control app that you can hook to your smartphone, and you control many functions of this bike through that app. Just before this video, Gary was telling me you could even tell the app how many miles you want your ride to be, and it will optimize your battery performance for that amount of ride and keep updating that performance through the ride. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature to have if you know how long you're going to be riding and you don't want to have to worry about trying to maintain your own battery power. Hit the button, let the bike do itself. And this bike does a lot by itself, but it is not completely power assisted. You do have to pedal this bike so the motor kicks on, and you can set that in different levels as well as how fast you want it to assist you, or how slow you want it to assist you, how much you want it to assist you, or how least you want it to assist you. And this motor really has no drag when just riding this as a normal pedal bike. Where a lot of e-bikes, you really feel that drag, and if you don't have that battery assist and motor assist, it really does degrade the ride, where this bike will ride just like a regular bike. But with Gary's situation, and Gary being a fairly new rider, I think last year was probably Gary's most miles he did on a bicycle, and I think he really enjoyed it. I saw him smiling quite a bit. But there was times when, you know, on our group rides, as Gary was riding his Four Corners gravel bike, which is not a performance bike, but a very comfortable bike, a very capable bike. But, you know, there was times when anybody riding that bike would have had a hard time keeping up with some of the speeds that we were doing. And Gary, you know, building his fitness, it's hard to be able to keep up with that type of a group on a bike that's not capable. And a bike like this is going to give Gary just that a little bit of boost to help keep up with the group without his heart rate shooting 195, 200 and not enjoying himself afterwards. So having a bike like this really opens a lot of doors. And Gary picked this specific model because it is good at many things. This is what they would call almost a gravel version. This bike is spec'd with a very capable and rock solid drivetrain system. It's the Shimano GRX 11-speed gearing and 11x1. So that keeps things very, very tight as far as it's got a nice clutch. So if you are in an urban situation or you're out on a gravel road and you're starting to hit a lot of bumps, the clutch in this derailleur keeps this derailleur from you know, switching gears, ghost shifting on you. So having a clutch on a gravel bike or even an all roads bike is a very important thing. So you know, Specialized did great by you know, picking the GRX gravel system for this bike. And you know, Gary's going to use this bike a lot for urban riding, and in the urban situations, I mean, some of the roughest roads we have are through our cities. And you know, when it comes to hitting potholes, jumping curbs, dodging traffic, you know, a bike like this is very smart because it has a lot more air volume in the tires, and these tires are 700 by 38, which is a very, you know, sizable tire for a drop style road bike. And I've got a set of calipers here so we can actually see what that is. And yeah, Specialized has hit this right, because when I put calipers on it, I'm getting 38.62, so it's a little bit more than a 38. And of course, a nice wide rim. This is a DT Swiss high quality rim with very good spokes, so we're talking about a very sturdy wheel build on this bike, front and rear. One really nice part of this bike is the Specialized Future Shock 2.0. And this shock actually has a dampening system in it, so it's not just a spring, but we actually have a dampener in here that can adjust for several things. And as Gary has only ridden this bike a couple times in our group rides, I can see Gary not shaking his hands like he used to after a ride, and that's just to get the blood flow through again. And I think having just a little bit of suspension built into this bike is a very smart thing, because it keeps you comfortable no matter really what terrain you're on. So between the bigger air volume and the 2.0, along with a very nice carbon frame, I think Gary's going to be comfortable on this bike for a long time and not have to worry about keeping up, because the battery and the motor that this bike came with is kind of on the cutting edge of technology. I think Specialized really is blowing most of its competition out of the way with the technology they're putting on this. And with Gary assisting the pedal, I think Gary can get up to what, 60 to 80 miles on a charge on a normal ride. And if you're not assisting, it probably drops it in half, so about a 40-mile ride if you just want to cruise without too much pedal assist. So it gives you the option to either pedal hard, pedal medium, or just cruise and still be able to keep up. So there's a lot of things with this bike that we're going to go into detail, and since it is Gary's bike now, we can do a long-term review on this bike. And so far on the local group rides, it really has been nice to have this bike around. We got caught into a very strong headwind the other day, and Gary was able to pull us through no problem. We're all glad that he had this bike. So before I go too far into this video, let me do something important here and give you a real weight of this bike. And of course, this is probably one of the lightest e-bikes you can find in the gravel or all-road segment. But we've got this bike at real weight here. And if you like our content on the Bicycle Rider YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us buy things like this scale and this bike, and it really just lets YouTube rank us, because we're not making any money off this. We're just doing this as a labor of love. But let me see if I can get this bike balanced on this scale, so you can give you guys a real weight with pedals, with a nice pump, with a bag full of tools. And Gary is overpacked with tools here in case someone along the ride needs some help. He's probably got 3 sets of Allen wrenches in here, tubes, air. Gary's packing heavy here. So this is the actual real weight of the way this bike rides. And what are we looking at? We are looking at 33.9. That's pretty awesome for an e-bike equipped for such a sturdy ride, a rock solid build with tools. So there's the real weight of this bike, and we will go into more features and component specs on another video, but we were just excited about having this bike to ride on the YouTube channel. And we will be doing a lot of filming from this bike. Hopefully you'll see Gary on this bike quite a bit. And we are just super excited about the Specialized Creo SL Turbo Comp. Carbon Comp. Thank you, Gary. I've showed you one side of the bike. Let me show you the other. It's a cool navy blue color, and it's just real solid, real fun. And I could see this being a very good asset for our YouTube channel for a long time coming. So any questions on the Specialized Turbo Creo, hit Gary up. He's quite an expert on it now, and he's going to go into the app and some of the other fun, more technical details in another video. Bicycle Rider over and out.